1 minute. Okay, Hala, I just want to ask you about, our school. You are coming to school, and I want you to tell me who make rules in our school, who give these rules. In our school, we have different rules. Can you tell me
Mr.
one of
Osama
them?
and Ghada.
Yes, and they are making rules for us. Can you give me an example of these rules that we are following in our school? Stop writing on my screen.
Don't push each other.
No hitting, this is what you said? Or no pushing?
Yeah,
No pushing or no hitting each
no
other,
pushing.
right? Yes, okay. So you said no hitting or no
Yeah,
pushing. Yes, no hitting or no pushing each other. This is an example of a rule that is set in our school. And as you said, the two make these rules, Mr. Osama and Ms. Ghada. طيب. Habiba.
yes.
1 minute because I need to talk to you. Habiba, if you are sitting on bed, Habibti, you have to stay away from bed. This is the first rule. Okay? Number two, Hala said that Mr. Osama and Ms. Ghada, our principal, they are making laws for us, or they are making school rules. Should we follow these rules or we can ignore it? Yani we can follow it, and if we like, and if we don't like it, we don't have to follow it. Is it right? What should we do
We
with,
follow it.
huh?
We follow it.
We must follow it, right?
We follow.
We must
Follow.
follow it. Yes. Tab, can you give me an
Yes.
example of the school rules? Can you give me an example of the school rules that we must follow it?
Mm, No get the mask. No get the mask from your face.
This is a great rule that we are following since the beginning of COVID-19, and we are wearing, or we put.
And raise your hands. And raise.
Yes, and raise your hand when you want to talk. If you want to talk, if you want to answer, you have to raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay, so
Raise your
yes,
hand.
excellent. This is an example of the rules, and the first one that you said, it's a great rule that we must follow it all, not only in the school, but we must follow it everywhere, that we must put on our face mask if we are going anywhere. As Habiba said, and as Hala said, that we have principals, or we have admins who are running the school, from admins and teachers, the principals. They are making rules for us, and we have to follow it. Okay. But if I want to ask you about your home, if I want to ask you about your home, ya Khadija. Mayan, wake up, Habibti, and wash your face. Now, let me ask Khadija. Khadija.
Yes.
Khadija, what about your home? You live at home, of course, with your parents, sister, right? Who make or who makes rules at your home? Who makes the rules at home?
My dad and my mom.
Your dad and your mom, they are making rules for you and your sister. Should we follow, or should you follow these rules or not?
Follow.
Follow it. Yes, exactly. Type. What will happen? What will happen if we will not, or if you will not follow these rules? Joy, leave what you have in your hand,
I
please.
don't
You and Anne, and look at the
know.
screen. Yes, stop playing
I
with
don't
anything that's in your hand. Yes,
know.
yes, Khadija, I'm sorry. Huh? Should we follow these rules or should we ignore them?
Follow it.
Follow it. And what will happen if you ignore these rules? Of course, your mom or your dad, they will warn you first in order to follow it, or warn you 1, 2, or 3 times. But after this, they have their own punishment for you and your sister in order not to repeat this mistake, or not to follow these rules, that this is your punishment because you didn't follow it and we warned you many times. So we start with punishment 1, and after this 2, and after this 3. And this is happens everywhere and every home. And of course, in the school, we are doing the same. But here, Anne and Joy, leave what you have, please, in your hand and look at the screen. Leave what you have in your hand, please, and look at the screen. Yes. Okay, but here, if we are talking about the community or the place that we all live in, it's the community or the country that we live in. I want to know who makes the rules here or the laws for us that we are following in our community or our country. Kenda, I didn't hear your voice today. Good morning, ya Kenda.
Good morning.
Kinda, when I asked your friends about the school, they told me Mr. Osama, Miss Ghada, Miss Sonia. When I asked Khadija about home, she told me parents. But we didn't speak about the big place where we all live in, like the community. Do you remember community? A place where people, community, a place
A
where
place where people
live and, huh? What is a community? We took it many
live and
times.
work.
Yes, it's a place where people live and work. We all live in a community. Okay, we all live in and work in a community, right? Who make these laws for us? Do we have laws or rules in our community or not?
Yeah.
We have laws and rules in our community, right? Type. Who makes these laws for us? Anyone can make a law for everyone in the community? Or there is a specific group that makes these laws for us? Huh? Do you know who makes these laws for us in the community? Kinda?
Yeah.
Kinda? Who makes the laws for us in Egypt? Who makes the laws for us? Do you know who makes the laws for us in our community?
Government.
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 Excellent. Who told you about it? Who told you about it? Thank you, Yakinda. But do you know who are the governments? The government, they are the ones who make rules for us to follow in our community. Here he's telling you that communities are like schools. That's why I started with the school. Please, ya Lily, look here. I started with the school and I started with your home about the ones who make laws or the rules in the school, or the ones who are making laws or rules at home. But after this, I moved to the biggest place where we live in it, and it's a community. And of course, we have in the small places rules, and in the community also we have rules that we must follow. But of course, not your parents who are making these rules for the community, and not the admins of the schools. They are the ones who make rules for our community. Of course not. We have in the community a group of people who work together to help it run well, to run our community. If we don't have these people, our community will be lost. We will not have rules. We will have thieves everywhere. These people are called, as Kenda said, the government. The government is a group of people who run a country, who run Egypt, who run America, who run England. Each country has its own government. Grade 2, repeat after me, please. Government, government,
Government.
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 We
Government.
studied, as I told you, we studied before. Yes, we studied before. Thank you so much. We studied before in grade 1. Thank you.
Government.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the ones or the group of people who run our country, they are the government. Of course, you know that the government, they are the ones who ask us to put on face masks. They are the ones who are asking us to stay at home because of COVID-19. They are the ones who are controlling the country because they want the country to be safe. They want our country to be clean, and they want our country to be fair for everyone. I'm not making laws for group A and group B will not follow these rules. No, it's for everyone. Once I say put on your face mask, so the whole community or the people who live in the country, they should put on face mask. If you are driving your car and you see a sign in the street and it asks you to stop, will you stop or not? Will you stop or not? You will stop. You will stop. Excellent. If you are in a gas station with your mom or with your dad and you find a sign that tells you no smoking, no mobile phones, will you use your mobile phones or will your dad smoke or not? No, of course not. So we are following these rules or these laws that are made by the government. If they ask us to stay at home and to teach online sessions, so we must follow this law and these rules for your safety and for my safety. We are following these rules. Okay, so they are called government, and I want to share with you a picture of our Egyptian government. We usually watch them on TV while they are making laws for us. Look here, I will show you a picture of our government. This is the government. Look here, grade 2, please. This is the government, the Egyptian government. Okay, they usually sit or stay together around a table, okay, to discuss important laws for the Egyptian, important decisions, everything, important ideas, projects, everything that is done in our country, it's done by our government, not by me, not by you, not by your relatives. No, these are group of people who are chosen. They are chosen to make laws and to run our country. Sit down properly, Yelena. Sit down properly. I will send your mom a message today. Okay, So we said they are called government. Government, group of people. Government, group of people. Repeat after me, grade 2, please. Government, group of people. Yes. Yes, this is our Prime Minister, Mr. Madbouli. He is the Prime Minister. He's the leader of the ministers. And of course, they are making laws for us. Look here, yeah, Mr. Anas. So, government, group of people who run a country. Government, group of people who run a country. The Egyptian government, they run Egypt. The American government, they run America. The English government, they run England. The Spanish government, they run Spain. The French government, they run France. Each country has its own government. Anas, can the Egyptian government run the American country or the American people?
What?
Can the Egyptian country run America?
No, no, no.
Of course not. Of course not. Each country has its own government. Each country has its own government. So, government, group of people who run a country. Government, group of people who run a country. They are controlling our country because they want the country to be safe, clean, and fair. Government, group of people who run a country. Mazen, can you repeat the meaning of government, please? Government.
A group of people who run a country.
Thank you. يلا يا لنا. Government.
Government's a group of who run a country.
Thank you. يلا يا ليلى. Government.
Government a group of people run a country.
Thank you. Esther, who runs the country? The government. Excellent. The government. Okay. Lama, government.
Government group of people who run a country.
Thank you. Mazen Hussein, government.
A group of people who run a country.
Thank you. Government, group of people who run a country. Government, group of people who run a country. Kareem, government. Kareem, government. Kareem, where are you,
Yes,
Kareem?
miss.
Yala Kareem, government.
Yes, miss.
Government, group of people who run a country. Huh? Government.
Group of people that run out of
That run the country. Okay, thank you so much. Yalla ya Mayan. Mayan, sit down properly ya Mayan. Mayan.
what?
Ha, sit down
Yes.
properly, Habibti. Sit down properly. It's not a way of attending the session. Tell me, what is the meaning of government? Government, group of
A group of people
who run a country. Government, group of people who run a country. Okay. Group of people who run a country. Okay. Joy,
Yes.
what does the government make for us?
Rules.
They are making our laws or rules for us. Anne, can you give me an example of the laws or the rules that the government makes for the whole country?
Mm,
Yes, Mazen Amra, I will share the
to do not
screen.
throw garbage in the streets.
Yes, one of the laws or
To
the
do not throw
signs.
garbage in the streets.
Yes, excellent. One of the laws or the signs that we usually see on the street that no throwing garbage. And I want you to look at what Mazen Amr has. He has like a signs. Mazen, can you make it closer to the screen, please? Yes. Mazen, he has like a poster, and this poster it has signs that we usually see in the street. Okay, and these signs they show laws or rules or community rules that we must follow. Like if you see a sign that asks you turn right, will you turn left? Of course not. If they see a sign that asks you to stop, so this is a community rule. It's for everyone. If you see a sign that asks you to go straight, will you turn left? Of course not. So here, these signs, they show laws or they show rules in our community. They are made by the government and we have to follow them, or you will be asked to pay money or you will be sent to jail, the ones who will not follow them. Okay, so Mazen Hussein, government group of, ها يلا يا مازن يا حسين, government group of, ها
People who control, who run a community.
who run a country. Thank you so much. Government, group of people who run a country. Group of people who run a country. Muaz, government.
Group of people that run a country.
Muaz, do you have any rule or laws that's made by the government? Any example of any laws that's made in our country by the government? Yani I give you an example. When they told us or when they asked us to start teaching online at home from the beginning of June. This is one of the laws that the government made for us. Do you have another example of laws that the government made for us? Do you have another example?
Don't run the car. Don't run quick with the car.
Yeah, it means that you don't drive your car fast. Yes, and you must follow the speed limit. Like if you see a sign on the highways that asks you or tells you speed limit 90, you should not drive your car on 100 speed like this. Excellent, excellent. Okay, thank you. Jumana, do you have another example of laws that our government makes for us?
Yes,
Huh? Like what?
yes.
Yes, Jumana. Do
No
you have
parking.
no parking? Yes, if you see a sign with P on over it cross, it means no parking, and you mustn't park here because maybe once you finish, you will find that the traffic or the policeman will take your car, right? So this is one of the law, and this is one of the community rules that's made by the government. So again, government, group of people who run a country. Group of people who run a country. Repeat after me. Government. Okay, so I wish that you will not forget the meaning of government till tomorrow. And I want you to get ready with examples. Yani I will write it here, and I want you to write it in your science, social. I'm sorry, your social notebook, because I will ask you about it tomorrow. I want. Can you write this in your social notebook, because I will ask you about it tomorrow. I want examples. Write it, please, in your social notebook. Examples of laws that are made by the government in our country. Examples of laws that are made by the government in our country. Please write this sentence or this question in your social notebook, because I will ask you about it tomorrow. I will ask you about it tomorrow, and you have to be ready with it. It will be with marks. It will be with marks. Examples of laws, rules, yani, that are made by the government in our country. Esther, stop using this effects and please concentrate and write this sentence in our social notebook. I want examples of laws that are made by the government in our country. I give you one of them that we start teaching online, or the online teaching started from the beginning of June. This was the last law that was made to the international school, that all the international schools should start teaching at home, or start the online teaching from the beginning of June. And this is what we have done. That's why we are online, or we are all on the online system right now. I want another examples of laws that are made by the government in our country. I mean in Egypt, yani, for example. Okay. What are the laws that are made by the government in our country? They made many laws, and these laws, we are all following them. We are all following them. Remember, each country has its own government. What is the meaning of government? Government, group of people who run a country. Miss Mayan, did you write this sentence in your social notebook? Did you write it?
I take a screenshot.
No, I asked you to write it. No,
لما
no, not a screenshot. Where is your social notebook and your pencil? You have to write, not to take a screenshot. Please, if you don't have your social notebook, you have to get a paper and write this sentence on it. Adam Islam, did you write?
Okay.
I didn't hear what you said. Please write it in the social notebook. Guys, turn on your camera and show me what you have written. Show me what you have written. Show me what you have written. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Joy. Who else wrote? Because I will see tomorrow at the beginning of the session, the laws. Thank you. Thank you. Anas, did you write? Guys, did you write? Did you finish writing?
Yes.
Okay. I want examples that are made, or examples of laws that are made by the government in our country. I will ask about them tomorrow at the beginning of the social studies session. Remember, government, group of people who run a country. Group of people who run a country. Say group of people who run a country. Group of people who run a country. Okay, grade 2. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah, you, daddy, daddy,